Yes, it is. What are you doing?
What's up, y'all? Sarah Kane here with Billy Scott Real Estate. And as you can tell, we have a little guest here. We're already having fun.
That's right.
This is Kyla. If you can tell from the title, this is one of Billy's offspring.
I think it's like the one of.
The one of. There's
Let's
many.
clarify. There's two.
There's another one.
She's a bit sassier.
Yeah. But Miss Kyla here came on, and we're, I feel like with real estate agents, you don't always get to hear from like their kids and like what it's like being a kid behind a real estate agent, and like what life is like for you and growing up. And
I could probably answer that for her. It's probably like laid back, just chill.
Yeah, but I can answer all those questions for her. I think.
I have a feeling she's going to say some things today. We told her, don't hold back. Be honest.
But
What's
I'm
it
gonna
like?
hold back because like not holding back. You don't think I'd want that recorded?
Be honest and be professional.
Yeah.
Right?
But be yourself. It's all good.
So, you don't got to love the industry.
No,
Just be real about it.
Yeah. I love it. Well, start out with, I already said your name, but how old are you? What grade are you in?
15, freshman,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's pretty much you.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Do you play any sports?
I did, but now I'm just kind of doing the cattle showing and instead of all the school sports.
Yeah. How's that going?
Pretty good. Going to Reno in a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing in Reno again?
Showing.
Showing.
Showing what?
My heifer. I have a Black Angus heifer that I'm bringing there.
Okay.
Getting to show her there.
Okay.
What is the show called?
Oh, that's a very good question.
It's Reno Angus Nationals, right?
All I know is it's Reno Black Angus.
Okay.
Because it's all Black Angus. That's why I can't bring my steer, because he's clubby, a different type of...
Oh, interesting. This is like, I don't know a lot about this, so I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions because I genuinely don't know.
Good.
So what's like, wait, so you go show your heifer, but like, is it just to compete?
You
To
just
win?
kind of... Yeah, kind of. You just kind of walk them around and
Yeah.
let them look at them.
Do they have to look a certain way? Like, how
So
do you get into it?
Walk somebody through it. Somebody that doesn't know, like, what...
Well, it really depends on, like, what type of...
Okay, let's say you're doing a showmanship category. Now, what are they looking for in showmanship?
The showmanship is, like... It's kind of like 70-30. Like, it's 30% them and, like, 70% you. Like, how you react to them. But market is, like, still the 70-30, but the 70 is them. It's, like,
Okay.
how they look, but also how you present them.
Mm-hmm.
So it also depends on the judge, on, like, what they really prefer. And, like, it shows. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So how did you get into that?
Just kind of through 4-H, and like my sister showed through 4-H for years, and then I just kind of like started off with hogs doing it because believe it or not, cattle are kind of expensive.
No kidding.
Believe it or not.
So we just kind of, it was like the online year where like every auction was like online. So either way, I didn't even have to.
During COVID?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that when you got into it?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
my
wow.
like first year with hogs, and I
Wow.
only did the hogs for 1 year.
How do you show hogs?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Do you walk them?
Yeah.
No way.
You just kind of like have them walk, and then you kind of like, there's like, it's called like a whip, but it's like, I don't really know how to describe it, but like, it is kind of like whip, but it's sturdier, and you're not like full on like hitting them with it. You're tapping
Tap
like the
on
side of their face to like get them to turn like different directions. And
Yeah. How many hogs did you do?
that is also a very good question.
We had 12 hogs that year,
I
but
was like, I
you
don't
only
love
had
the hog side, so I don't
you had
really.
2 for 4-H, one that you actually showed.
You
like-
can only sell like one animal in the auction, but you can raise as many as you want, but you'd have to sell the rest of those privately.
Wow. So what was the jump like from hogs to cattle?
It was very different. Like, it's still different from what I'm doing now because I didn't, like, then I had my sister there and, like, it was still her barn at that point, basically, and I was still new to it, so I didn't know anything, and
You hear that, Taylor? Her barn. You hear that?
I learned that the hard way.
I learned that the hard way. I'm sure she was very sweet about it. Love you, Tater.
Oh man, the sisterhood. It's real.
So Kyla's first year, you have to be 9 years old to get into 4-H and start showing animals. So you can usually do it for 9 years, sometimes 10, based on how your birthday falls. So the first year we said, hey, Taylor's only raised steers a couple years. We made Taylor do 2 years of lambs, and then she did 3 years of hogs. But we didn't have any property to raise those animals. So we literally would, other 4-H families would offer up, hey, if somebody wants to come raise a 4-H animal or pair animals, like they would open the door to other kids being able to do it. So when we finally decided to buy in 16 and buy a farm where we could raise our own 4-H animals and there's kids that could come raise their animals on our farm, we wanted to pay that back. And we've had kids raise hogs on our place, but it's a big liability taking on that risk as well.
Yeah.
But think of like your relationship with your animal when you're raising them at home and you feed them in the morning, you feed them at night, and you spend time with them, opposed to a couple days a week, you swing by, you got a half hour, you clean their pen, you take them for a quick walk, and it's like, hey, we got things to do. Come on, hurry up.
Right.
That's not.
It's different when you're their person versus like you give them exercise every once in a while. It's really, it's beneficial to be like their person because once you're at the fair, you're the only consistent thing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Tell us more about that. What do you mean by their person?
Like,
and how's that happen?
You know how your dog gets clingy to usually like one person in the family who like does most of the things for him? Their person. And like it's the same way with all these like farm animals and it's the same way with them, but you're bringing them to different places that they don't know anything about.
Yeah.
So they're obviously going to cling to you if you're their person. If not, they're going to be trying to find something to cling to, and it's not going to... They're not going to really have any comfort thing to...
Okay. That makes sense.
For example, like Mom, she feeds me, so she's my person.
Not anymore. Mila's clinging to me now.
Love it.
So you guys bought property kind of with the intention that so Taylor was already doing 4-H.
Yeah, she was doing 4-H, and she had done 4-H for 4 years at that point, I believe.
Okay.
And yeah, because in 16, I think she graduated 21. So 4 years, but we were tired of raising animals on somebody else's place, and they weren't getting that relationship with their animals and like living and breathing the 4-H life.
Yeah.
And a lamb or a hog, that's a 4-month project. That's April to August.
Okay.
End of March to August. Lower financial commitment, lower time commitment, lower risk, lower reward. Getting into cattle and raising livestock and raising steers for fair, that's a big investment when you go from raising a hog or whatever. So it's something to think about of like, it's not something just, oh, I want to go raise a steer. It's like we made her do a hog because we wanted her to help her sister raising a steer and have the experience of showing that she's going to put in that work ethic towards her 4-H project. Yeah. But a steer's a 9-10 month project and a lot more money and a lot more risk.
Yeah.
And in fact, like the year of COVID, Taylor sold her steer. I think it cost around $2,500 or $2,000 that year for all of her feed and everything. And she sold it for $3,000.
Wow.
So like she made like $1,000.
Yeah. Maybe.
And with her add-ons, I think she had about $1,000 of add-ons. So like she made just as much as her add-ons from businesses that gave back and just supported kids where they're like, hey, I can't go spend $3,000 to go support this kid selling a 4-H steer, but I want to throw him $25 or $100 or $250 and just say, hey, I really like that kid's drive and their work ethic and they're doing a good thing. Like I want to support them, but not commit to buying the whole animal. Yeah. So it's another way to give back to kids, and it's a tax write-off. So a lot of businesses and just people in the community. I mean, you talk about that a little bit, what that experience has been like for you, because some of your add-ons are literally your profit.
For some people, the add-ons are definitely the profit if they didn't do as well in the auction or if they got... Because sometimes the auction order, really changes, the profit that you get off of it,
Okay.
like your opportunities with it.
Yeah.
But usually with our auction, usually everything goes fairly good.
Yeah.
And
We're very lucky in Benton County.
Wow.
We've got a strong auction committee that goes and works hard for buyers in the community. Sorry to chime in on you. I just wanted to hit on there's some counties that don't average the price per head that our county does.
Wow.
So we're very fortunate in that sense. And some counties struggle to find enough buyers to support the kids in that community.
Yeah.
And we have darn near more buyers than kids.
Wow.
So we're very lucky in that sense.
Yeah. So what has that been like for you? Like doing 4-H, the community support, like all of that, like just being young and then moving from in town to then out in the country more, like what's that been like?
like from the in town to out in the like country, technically, I barely remember the in town portion of it. We moved out here when I was like 7.
Do you remember living in the trailer?
Oh, yeah. I remember the trailer. But
It was so pleasant.
Yeah, I was like, is that trauma?
I remember like one of the main gifts between like that I would give to my sister because like I was like 7 and obviously I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
Was like, I'll give you another week to sleep on the bed instead of on the floor. I got no weeks on the bed. None of them gifted to me. I only gifted her any. She didn't give me nothing.
Sounds like she was a better negotiator.
I think we have unsolved.
Yeah, I think we got a little deep bitterness coming out.
Well, just because I gave her like at least 7 weeks and I got none.
Well, why don't you bring that up to her? Now's the time you can just look at the camera and say what you
No,
want to say.
she's gonna punch me.
Taylor's truly a sweetheart. She wouldn't do that.
She's like you. She can't hide her facial expression. She's like, that's just how I feel.
Yeah, she would never punch me. She would never do such a thing.
It's that
Love it.
sisterly love. I get it. I
She used to
get
throw
it.
sand in my eyes when we lived in Albany. I remember that. We had a sandbox in the backyard. She used to throw sand in my eyes whenever I'd piss her off.
Well, I bet you didn't do that too often, did you?
No, I remember because I keep getting sand in my eyes. I
Sometimes
did.
it takes us Scott kids a couple times before we get the hit.
I think we should get you a sandbox.
I need one in the office.
One of those Zen gardens, you're like, Billy. You're like,
That makes me. I want to tell the story about when you were a little girl.
should do it.
So do it.
So when Kyla was a little girl, Mom or I would tuck her in, and for bed, and we'd shut off the light. And Kyla would always go, "What happened to my eyes? What happened to my eyes?" When the light got shut off. I love it.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, just last year she grew out of it though.
You can't say that. I'm like, oh,
Terrible.
Come on, Ray. A little Ray Charles action. All right, come on.
I did not grow out of that a year ago.
Are you
It was 6
regretting?
months ago, actually.
Are you regretting coming on the podcast yet? A little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe.
No, I love it. I feel like it's that real stuff that you have with your family that like people don't really see it, but everybody gets it. You know what I mean? Like, you're lucky though, in a sense. Like me and my brothers are so far apart that like I don't really remember like not getting along with them. But then I have like certain memories like
And
that
you're
where
like,
I'm like,
oh yeah.
oh, he hit me in the head with a music stand because I wouldn't get out of his room. Like those types of things. I'm like, oh.
I just never went in Taylor's room usually.
Yeah, I learned.
I just think of Step Brothers. It's always a musical.
I'm gonna roll my nuts out.
No. All right, moving on.
It's in the movie.
All right, what do you got next, Sarah?
You can't like
Tease you with a one.
you can't like tell me a movie and then
All
not.
right,
Let her quote
that's
it.
funny. That's
They used to
funny.
make me quote that in public too. Oh wait, I can't talk about that.
They do it. All right, wing it. Go for it.
Okay, so where were we? It was the banana hammock story.
Oh, you want that one? Okay. All right. So Kyla was probably 6 years old.
I need popcorn.
Oh man, she was probably 6 years old. My wife and I love this. We were in Florida. I think we were in Clearwater Beach, Florida, on the Gulf Coast side.
Okay.
And my wife and I had referenced banana hammocks. And next thing you know, we were at one of those stores that has just a bunch of different swag and like gift shops and things and a lot of, tourist type, different random stuff. And we go, hey, Kyla, why don't you go ask the gentleman at the counter if they have any banana hammocks? And she goes, okay. So she goes up, do you have any banana hammocks? And literally, we're standing like 20 feet back, and the guy literally, he's looking at her, and he looks up at us, and he just smiles, and we're dying as parents. We're dying, and he looks down and goes, no, sweetie, we don't have any. Okay, and she comes back, and she's just like, what? Like, and we're just dying. Jump forward the next day, 24 hours later.
Oh no.
I can't remember if it was.
I think we were at the beach.
And there was this like 70-year-old man that went walking by, rocking a banana hammock.
Not one of the ones you'd want to see. It was not.
And I'm like, Ash, Kai, come on, let's get a photo. And just check out the banana hammock. And she literally went, you. So that's how she realized what she asked for the day before. And,
oh no, it's awful. You poor thing.
He did that to me a lot.
Imagine how much we did it to Taylor.
This is probably a lot.
We still do it to Taylor.
All right.
Well, we should probably stay and talk about your cows.
Yeah.
No banana hammocks anymore.
No banana hammocks anymore. Oh my gosh. So how many steer have you guys raised? I mean, how many years have you been doing this now?
So 17, we got
17,
our
okay.
first. I think we got 2 steers that year.
Yeah.
Because the girls we might have had 2 or 3 that year, and then we jumped up the next year and raised 12 feeders for butcher steers.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just like, we're going to do this, let's do it.
Yeah.
And the time it takes to feed in the morning and at night,
Yeah.
now just add how much feed you need per head.
Yeah.
So then it's like, we're already out here. We got to do it twice a day. We got to feed them out for 90 days or 120 or 150 days, depending on grain finish.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, how many head can we run?
Mm-hmm.
And how many orders can we take on for the beef that people wanted?
Wow.
And the most we did was 12 in a season. We usually get them in the spring and have them done by the end of summer or fall.
Mm-hmm.
And weighing around, 700 to 800 pound carcasses when they're butchered.
So you have you have cows that you guys butcher, and then you have ones that you show.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there are some that you show and then you butcher them at the end, like the steers with cattle.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't you can obviously show heifers and then butcher them, but they're 4-H. They don't really do market heifers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's easy to have the heifer and the steer and then just don't kill the girl.
Don't kill the baby maker.
Yeah.
So what one's been your favorite that you've shown, or do you have one?
Probably this one, the heifer that I just bought, because the 4-H ones, last year I definitely did not put in the time that I should have with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just kind of came back and it came back and
Kind of sucked a little bit.
It was something.
So, okay. Your auction order you talked about earlier.
Oh.
So auction order is not based on showmanship. It's based on how you place in market. So talk a little bit about that.
So it's again, the 70-30, how they look, and then the 30% of how you show them.
Mm-hmm.
There's different ways you can put their feet, and you have to know by showing your animal, if you work with them, you'd know which way that they stand makes them look the best, know?
Okay.
And if you haven't, then you just kind of or they won't stand up for you, or they won't walk for you.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong, even with some of the ones you've worked with hours on end every single day, they're still gonna have some of those moments, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's way more apparent when you don't, and I didn't last year, so it just kind of came back and bit me, and I figured it out, and now I'm I don't really want to deal with that anymore. So we're gonna hopefully have that all dialed in before fair.
Yeah.
And I think there was like 30 to 35 head that went through the auction, something like that. Close in that range for Benton County. And she was like number 20 or, 18.
Yeah.
Where her goal was, you know what, next year I don't want to place this low. I want to try to be in the top 10. I want to be able to separate myself in the competition and show that I put in the effort. I earned it. Because you could put in all those hours and your steer could have a really bad day. But market, typically speaking, it's mostly the animal.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure that you go in with your best foot forward. But when you talk about certain positions in an auction, the grand champion and the reserve champion, generally speaking, are your two highest priced steers in the auction because they did the best of the best. They were the best in their class, like overall stood out. Third position is a really tough position to be in the auction because you're not the grand champion or the reserve, and that's usually where people will hold back and just see kind of where the auction's going to go. So you think, like, man, being in the top 3 out of 30 or 35, that's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get not a great price, but like you can't control that. Like it's luck of the draw. It's the work you put in. You're going to be rewarded. And like we mentioned earlier, we've got a great county that rewards these kids very well year after year. Even during COVID and the times were toughest, people are still pulling out their wallets, digging deep to get back to these kids.
Yeah.
And I love it because we see this as being the future of agriculture and future employers, future employees, future vendor partners, like all of it. Like this is the working class that's learning work ethic. They're learning responsibility. They're learning that grit.
Yeah.
So when you got somebody that turns in an application and they say, oh, I did 4 years of 4-H or 9 years of 4-H, you can't sit here and tell me that employer is not going, ooh, let me look at that resume. Because that will pop on a resume because you know that kid has work ethic. That kid's going to have character. Even FFA kids, like it's just, I'm a believer in that program like no other. There's lots of great programs out there, but I feel what 4-H has done, and we've talked about it before, moving to the country, Ash and I talked about like what this is going to do for our kids is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
Now fast forward, we've been there 8 years, we're on our 9th year.
I think.
She's like, I just live there.
What moving to the country has done for all of us and our family, that you could have never told me the lifestyle of raising hogs and raising cattle and her wanting to show in the show circuit a little bit. She's not out there killing it and being grand champion. She's out there putting in the work day in and day out, and she wants to continue pushing herself to be better. So she looked at it as like, every time I'm in sports, I practice 4 or 5 nights a week for 2 hours. Why don't I just treat cattle as my sport? And I come home and work my animals for a couple hours a night and bathe them and wash them and pamper them. And they get spa days all the time. Like she spoils her heifer and her steer rotten.
There's something.
And I heard you have another cow.
We've got calves.
You've got Mabel.
Oh, Mabel. she's something.
Something. Well, why don't you talk about it? Renee might watch this and say, yeah, tell us about Miss Mabel.
I'll have to add a photo in this so people can see.
What is
She's so funny. She's hilarious. Like, from just the way that she's built to her personality, it's all just so funny.
Really? I've never seen
What kind of cow
like
is she?
Mini Zebu. Like, it's basically just pocket-sized Brahma, and it's
Pocket-sized Brahma.
the legs on her are like this big, and her body's not like. Don't get me wrong, it's small, but there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
Her hump is like this big.
That's crazy. And she's short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
I
like,
think
what,
to
30,
the shoulder,
34?
she's 35 inches.
Yeah, 34, 35 inches.
That's crazy.
It's like, she's got so much attitude. She's got so much attitude packed in like this tiny little body, and it's
So she fits in the Scott family.
Look at Kyla. Oh, yeah. I love it.
That's awesome.
So what is your experience with, you know, you don't really remember living in Albany much. You remember living in a trailer for years. We bought the property and remodeled the house and all that, but we made that sacrifice to be able to live the farm life. What has been your experience? Like, what do you think like 4-H has done for you in general? Like as an active 4-H kid, this is your 6th year?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds right. Yeah. But like, it really shows when people have done a whole lot of stuff through 4-H, and if they've went out, like, we're not supposed to go out and talk to buyers and like try to like not try to come and get them to buy your product, but just come and support the fair. Even if they don't spend any money, just come in, support the kids. Yep. Like that. I'm not going there to be like, come here, buy my animal. Right. That's not what no.
Yeah.
I'm going there to like, hey, like, this is this, and like talk to them for a while, and like, if we would love to see you there, like just come and like talk to the kids in the barns. And it's really apparent when either kids sit in front of their animal and talk to the buyers for a few hours a day. It really shows like throughout the rest of their, or if they go and hide for those few hours and just kind of like,
yeah.
Well, think of like
the public speaking factor is really,
exactly
it
right.
like kicks through a whole lot more.
Did you struggle with that or no?
Well, she's got this DNA.
I was like,
that's why I'm asking. I have an assumption.
We always got room for improvement, right?
Yeah, like somebody needs to learn how to turn his volume a little down.
Somebody needs to learn how to turn the volume down. That's awesome.
We were just talking about that.
We were. You left and we were like, oh, he's still here.
We were talking about how
trash talking.
Like you'll just come in and it's like it's your volume and like somebody else is like, oh my gosh. It's like when you're around it so much, it's like you just kind of get used to it.
Right,
Like he's got the 2 volumes. He's got the like nothing, or he's got the all.
It's he's a sleeper eating volume,
or
and then it's the Billy volume. Yeah.
The Billy volume. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just don't want somebody to feel like they need to say what, huh?
Oh no, on the phone he's like, well, yeah, it's Billy. He starts yelling, and I'm like, stop.
They have really good microphones and Apple products.
And I bet these ones probably suck.
He yells on it so much.
All right, what's next?
He leaves a voicemail, and I'm like, I just like start playing it, and like in class I'm like playing it, I'm like, why did he leave me a voicemail? He knows I'm in school. And then it's like, hi, Kyla. And I'm like, stop screaming. It's so loud. There's no time I have my AirPods in, I played it, and I was like, that scares me so
So
bad.
how does it feel going around town and everybody goes, oh, Billy Scott, Billy Scott.
It doesn't help that I wear Billy Scott sweatshirts and T-shirts every single day, or like Scott Ranch every single day.
It's our rolling billboard.
Right here.
It's kind of hard to not be like, oh, is that Billy Scott's daughter? No, I'm just a big fan. Yes.
You're like, I'm a walking advertisement. What do you want?
I was like, what? I have the Billy Scott real estate sweatshirt on the floor. Like, no.
No, we're not
big
related.
Fan of his work.
This reminds me so much of me and my dad.
Really?
Like, oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. His only daughters can give their dad, like, this one's crap. It's so great.
Well, it's both of them.
Yeah, you lucked out. It's all the Scott women.
So do you have something, you busted out a funny story about you, or reminded me a couple funny stories about you. What is one of the funniest stories that you can remember that humiliates me a little bit? Anything stand out?
You don't really get humiliated by a bunch of things. You do stupid stuff all the time, and it just doesn't.
Way to give a filtered response there, sweetie.
You asked for it.
All right.
He showed me a video the other day, or I think it was a couple weeks ago, actually. But you were like, you guys were at the racetrack, and you were going up and like pulling his leg hair off or something.
Oh my goodness, when I was like, when I was little, when I was little Joe Dirt,
Yeah.
I had my hair pulled back into a mullet.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So
her
cute.
little two-step.
Yeah, got the
Laughing
Sawyer
so hard.
mullet now. Yeah.
I remember doing that for so long.
Yeah, I'd be playing on my phone or something.
Yeah,
You'd
he's
walk-
just standing in his phone, like his shorts sagging, and I'm like, okay, want to be thug? You.
and she'd grab my leg here and pinch it and run off.
I'd pull it and then I'd go and run off so he couldn't like kick me or anything. And you could see me like dying laughing in the back of the video. I'm dying laughing. And it's
It's just too much.
Yeah, love it.
Oh my gosh, we used to mess with my dad all the time. It was just, there's just nothing like it. It's just the best. But don't mess with mama. Mm-mm.
Yep.
don't make mama ugly.
Yeah.
Don't
so
make
true.
mama ugly.
Where did we even hear that?
On the cruise, our first cruise to
Yeah.
the Caribbean.
You can like, wasn't it like a whole family? All the kids were like doing something. She's like, "Don't make mama ugly." I was like,
Yep.
"Yeah, you know."
And Ash was like, I'm
That.
keeping that one.
I'm keeping that
I'm keeping that one.
Well, what's been like from your perspective? Like, I know you're doing 4-H and you're in school and all of that, but like, do you love it? Do you love living on
Yeah.
the farm and doing all the chores? And I heard you guys had a lot of chickens at one point.
I had like 60 chickens.
That was
They
amazing.
did not. I
Yeah,
had
I'm
the
sorry,
chickens.
you.
Yeah, well, ask her how many eggs she gave us. Go ahead, ask her.
0.
None. Those were my money makers. Okay. This was when selling $5 per carton of eggs was not cool. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I sold them for like $5 and people were buying all of them.
Wow.
She literally, Ash would bring 6 to 12 dozen a week, depending on how many they were laying.
Oof.
Every week, and they'd be $5 a dozen.
Yeah.
And the DAs always loved it because
I
they're
had a lot
farm
of people
fresh.
pre-ordering, like giving me like
yeah.
$20 until like.
Just making bank. Oh my gosh.
But literally, over time, predators came and
I had like a bobcat at one point. Little me had to figure that out. I was looking out the window and I was like, what?
Oh no.
It took like that. I was
like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that's
like
terrible.
broad daylight, it just grabbed one of my chickens and just ran
What?
off with it. And I was like,
It kind of crushed her.
Yeah.
She
but I
got
was like
to-
8. I was like, oh my god, my
Right.
chicken.
Yeah.
And I was like dying. And
They're
I
your
was like,
babies. Oh
They
my
were my
gosh.
babies.
Yeah.
But literally, she'd have eggs in the fridge. I'd go to open up, and be like, hey, no. We use
that was my profit, okay?
the store bought carton over there. Those
made my
are
mom
our eggs,
go
and
and
it's
buy
like,
eggs.
Those are our eggs.
what?
You didn't buy eggs.
We literally, and mom never told me. She just went along with it and let her make $5 a dozen,
She
and we
would just
never
let-
got farm fresh eggs.
like-
We'd get store bought.
Yeah, she would
Generic.
buy like plain white eggs, and then we had like 5 rows of like freaking cartons. And I'm like, don't
The
touch them.
money. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't touch them.
I was rolling in that cash.
At 8 years old.
That was chicken cash.
I was making bank.
Don't touch the money.
Yeah.
It's like her safe was the
Yep.
fridge.
Don't touch the moneymaker.
Yeah. So then really you got out of that and then you just started, your animals just started getting bigger.
Yeah, bigger and more expensive.
More expensive.
Yeah.
Except for your bird.
But still expensive.
Oh yeah. How much do those run? I don't even know.
I think I paid like $250 for them.
Wow. Just from like Petco?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got one of them. It was like off of like Craigslist, but she was old.
You're weird.
Do you need me to
Bird
bring,
owner.
Do you need me to bring up old stories? Your sister literally owned an alligator.
What?
Aunt Kimmy owned an alligator, and he's calling me weird for owning a bird.
An alligator at least is cool.
I just don't have to worry about dying from my bird. But he won't let me get an alligator. I've tried.
Probably
So,
for good
okay.
reason.
What animals do you have on the farm?
We got a goldfish in a cattle water trough. He is like this big. He's lived for almost like 5 years
Little
now.
chunker.
Another Petco buy.
What other animals?
We've got the dog Mila. Like
She's so cute.
she's awesome. Got all the like cows. We've got Everest, Sky, Mulan, and then we've got Mulan and Evie's babies.
So those are all cows and calves.
Yeah.
Or
Have you named the babies yet?
One of them, Mulan's baby's name is Mussolini.
That's cute.
but we're calling him Moose.
I like it.
Little
So,
moose.
and then we haven't named Everest's baby yet, but we're finding a name. We're
come up.
trying to figure it out. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're trying to like stay with the theme of
Yeah.
like the moms and like all that.
Yeah.
And then I've got Princess and Mufasa. And then we've got
Which
obviously
is a
Mabel.
heifer and a steer.
Yeah, Princess is the heifer, Mufasa is the steer.
Okay.
Came from Mulan, so the moo.
Mm-hmm.
And,
The
yeah,
moo
yeah, yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, the moo thing.
The moo
The moo
thing.
And then we've got like the cats. We used to have like 6,
Oh, wow.
but now we have Mittens, Augustus, Dopey, Binks, Roger.
Roger.
Roger's awesome. He's so funny.
Oh my gosh. So cute.
He's the stupidest thing ever, and it's awesome.
What other animal do we have in the small critter barn?
We've got a bunny,
Oh, I had a.
Yep.
the fattest bunny ever. It's awesome.
A little porker chopper.
Was that
Yeah.
a coastal buy?
No, that was like one of his friends. Like it's like a husband and wife. The husband bought the wife a bunny for like Christmas.
I don't remember what it was, but
It was something. She's like,
Oh.
why would I want a bunny? And I was like,
Oh.
so they were like gave it to us to just like release, but she's so nice that we're like, that's not even giving her a chance out there.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we just kind of we've
It's
had
got-
her for over a year.
Got a 12 by 12 pin for the little bunny. It's got its little hotel.
But there was like
Oh,
who came by? The kid really wanted it, and
Yeah.
they're like, they might get it in a few months if the bunny's still around.
Yeah, they close on their
Yeah,
house
yeah.
this week, so
Aw.
that may be one of the first animals that go to
If she
their
doesn't
farm.
just like randomly drop dead, it'll still be there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's
oh,
always the
she's
chance
healthy.
that
She's healthy.
You can tell she's a farm girl. She's
Yeah.
like, they can just drop dead.
because she can.
Yeah. So do you feel like when you grow up, are you gonna stay in the farm life and have your own farm and raise your own
If I'm doing it
steers?
by myself, no.
Yeah.
But because like when he originally got into real estate, Mom was kind of thinking like, oh, he's gonna be like at home more, and I won't have to feed the animals all the time.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that work out?
How's that working?
And now we're not even doing the like feeder cattle because it's so much stuff already on me and Mom because he's in the office from like 4 a.m. to like 6:30 p.m. or something like that. And it's
I work a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
shoot now.
I'm not there at 4 a.m. though. No.
Normal people aren't there at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta get tomorrow's stuff done. And I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. So yeah, what's that been like? Him, I mean, because he was at Knife River for 18 plus years. So then he left that now in real estate. Like, what's that been like for you and your family?
I mean, it's just, I forgot words. Okay. Like, really, like, just busy schedules. Like, really definitely having to plan things now.
Yeah.
Everything has to be, which
Yeah.
definitely kind of sucks when, like, you don't find out about, like, school things until, like, night of. And I'm like, well, I hate all of you. So, like, should have told me sooner.
Yeah.
But, like, just, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, it's just,
Is he busier now than he was
Yeah.
at Knife River? Yeah.
yeah. But, like, since he went from, like, different, like, levels of, through Knife River, different types of job opportunities that he had, like, I bet when you were running equipment, you weren't quite as, like, on the phone as much.
It couldn't be.
I was like, that's literally what you can't do. But, like, when he got into the, like, rock sales, he was on the phone all the time, and it's not super different from that.
Yeah.
He's just working from an office more now, which is,
Oh, she approves.
I don't have to hear the, like, hey, this is Billy Scott, and, like, at, like, 4 a.m. My room is right across from the office. Like,
Oh no.
So when when I would work from home at all, when you're making your calls to your
Yeah.
clients and things
Yeah.
like that or customers. Yeah, my office is right across the hall from hers. Yeah, I can see where
guess
that's...
who likes to work with the door open?
Oh.
And when
we
it's
share an office.
I was like, that must suck for you. Like,
I have AirPods. Yeah.
he does too, but he don't use them.
They look cool.
Yeah, sitting on your desk, they're a really cool accessory.
He's trying more.
Yeah.
He's trying. We're trying to get him to use them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I appreciate your perspective on it just because, like, we sit here talking about real estate and talk about how we do it for our families, right?
Yeah.
But it's that perspective of what's it really like for what the kids are seeing at home and what they're experiencing. And, you know, like, I know he said, like, that you're like, no, I'm not going into real estate. No.
It's like it's a lot of all the home stuff. Not all, but most of the home stuff is on me and Mom.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff.
And that's different from when he was at Knife River. Or not quite as
Kinda.
It's just more.
Like, he was able to help a little bit more, but,
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
we thought with him going into, like, real estate, he'd be able to help more, like, more than what he was with that. And it's
Yeah.
the opposite. And Mom's like, huh,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
cool.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of backing off from, like, the feeders and stuff. And, like, either way, I hated raising pigs, so I'm not mad about that.
I'm not mad about that.
I don't like pigs.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of that, like, we've talked about it. It's starting out on your own and doing the business from the ground up. It's like, it's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time that you're spending and, you know,
Yeah.
and it does. Like, the family feels it. And it's not that you're like, it's not that you don't want to be there, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it is hard. Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know, like, how do you think, in your eyes, like how I looked at Knife River clients and then how I look at clients, whether they're buyers or sellers or investors, like, what is your perspective of how I look at a client and how they're valued? Like, from your perspective, that you get to watch me do business days, nights, weekends, like a lot, and you get to see me live and breathe the career that I love, but it does come at a sacrifice. But how would you look at it overall? Like, from your perspective, what do you think?
Like, he gives, like, everything. He does it all that he can, whether they deserve it or not. It's just kind of like, it's what he does, so he doesn't try to, like, it's not like he filters it if they deserve it or not. Everybody kind of gets everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's someone that I'm like, how do you stay with? And he's like, it's just what I do. And I'm like, okay. Like,
yeah.
it's, I know that he puts a lot of effort into it, and, like, there's some people that just don't see that until they go to somebody else, and then they're like, oh, he actually did a lot. And I'm just like, no way. I would have never thought.
You're like, I could have told you that.
Like, and I'm not even involved in it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think I appreciate that, but it's one of those, I think we're finding that not every client is the right client for us.
Right. And we're not the right agent for everyone.
And we're not the right agent or the team for everybody.
Yeah.
But great thing about it is there's lots of clients and there's lots of agents and there's lots of teams and there's lots of options for everybody. But I know when my wife, it was last August, we did a walkout on the farm, and she's like, if I would have known we're going to have to live and breathe the real estate life more or less with you like this,
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be as in support of it.
Yeah.
And that rocked me because it was like,
Yeah.
oh. And she goes, I know you love it. You love helping your clients. Like you, it's an adrenaline rush when people call you and say, hey, can you help represent us as a buyer? We're looking for a new home, or hey, we're thinking about selling. Like, and it's just like, drop everything, go.
Yeah.
But it's finding that fine line of like, we do it to come home to our family.
Yeah.
Like we do it for the work-life balance. And when it consumes you so bad that you risk the family that you come home to, it just like, gut punch. And it's like, it wasn't like an ultimatum, but it was like,
reality check.
like, Billy,
Yeah.
we've got like, we try to have Sundays to be family days. Does that mean that, nope, we can't show any property on Sunday. No, it's like, hey, if we're going to schedule stuff on the weekend, if Saturday we're going to do beef weigh-ins and we've got some family stuff and some running around, then trade Sunday for Saturday.
Yeah.
And then turn around and go to your open house on Sunday or your morning consult and maybe get off at a decent time. And then Sunday night have dinner with the family. Like try to find a work-life balance. Workers that work Monday through Friday and they don't have any time, they either need to meet at night or on weekends.
Yeah.
And my wife has always been super accommodating because I worked construction for 18 years. Like, you go where the work is. I worked a lot of nights. I worked out of town a lot. Like, we had to get ahead.
Yeah.
We weren't interested in just getting by. We had to make sacrifices to get ahead. But you only make those sacrifices for the reward in the end of being able to get to a point where you can go buy the property and raise your farm animals and have more work-life balance. Like, I don't want to be working the hours that I do now building a business when I'm 55 or 60. You know, I have a grandson that's almost 2 years old coming up, and it's just, it's wild. Like, in watching the mother that Taylor is to Sawyer and the growth that she's been doing and her work ethic, and then watching how Kyla is and what she's doing with 4-H and like how she's progressing as a young woman, and then the auntie that she is. When Soybean sees her, get out of the way because he's going for Kyla.
No, I bring friends over like grandma's house during like lunch, and he just comes over and he just like stands in the like door frame and he's like, he just likes to stare at everybody. He's like,
such a
and then he's just blowing kisses, and I'm like,
oh my god,
stop making moves on my friends here too.
Kid knows what he wants.
They are 15. Like, leave them alone.
Calm down, sir.
We get it. They're figures. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. But it is like I loved that Ash told you that because we definitely are like I don't want that for you, right? Like, or you or Ash should be, you know, holding down things, and you know you're doing the real estate business, and we love it, and we get it, like it's what you're passionate about, but we don't want it to be at the sacrifice of your family time, right? And they need you, and they're most important. So. Yeah, we're definitely working through that and like trying to set some accountability and some hours, and like me taking on more from him so that like let go, give, let me do it, like let me figure it out. Like we're working through that so that he can it'll be more balanced as we're, you know.
But with him, the more that you take on, the more he's just gonna be like, oh, I have more room for things tomorrow. And he's just
more
hopefully
family,
more clients, more family,
more family.
He's gonna be like, more clients. I don't know what this thing was that you were doing. I was like,
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I was always talking with the hands, right? Well, I love that you came on because I love getting to hear like your perspective. I love seeing the dynamic. You bring out that like 12-year-old side of him where he's all goofy and like.
I don't think that's that hard to bring out.
I'm all business. All business.
Business.
Unless you're ready to have fun.
Bring him to go-karts.
All the time. Okay, he was just saying, literally, squirrel this morning. He goes, I wonder if there's a go-kart track in Reno. Like, we're in the middle of like, what are you talking about?
I keep being like, I want to go to the trampoline park. I want to go go-karting. And like, my friends are like, do you think Billy Scott would like take us somewhere? And I'm like,
say
don't even have to ask.
I was like, go-karts, trampoline park, something like
we'll rent a van. We'll go.
That would actually be a U-Haul.
A U-Haul.
This isn't Dumb and Dumber.
Wait, isn't that a thing in Jackass that they like put people in the back of a U-Haul and like
yes
on like roller skates?
Yes.
And it's like
Yes.
I've actually seen videos online though where they put people in pools and like the back of like U-Hauls and trucks and stuff.
like in the bed of
Fill it
they
with
just
water.
put a tarp and they like fill it and I'm like,
No, that's so scary.
that's in a movie. It's a David Spade movie.
But he would do that.
That would be so funny.
It'd be funny to watch.
I got a long bed.
We got a long bed.
Yeah. Hey, with your 4-H dollars, how old were you when you bought your first vehicle?
Like 13?
Oh,
13?
Yeah.
What was it?
The 1969 Chevy C10 step side.
Yep.
And then I sold it to him to buy a big Ford.
And she charged me more money.
Obviously.
You taught her how to negotiate. What do you expect?
And then you bought a 97 Ford crew cab?
Yeah, 96. Yeah, 96.
Okay.
96, because it was 69, 96.
Okay.
And then sold that. Every time we drove it, something kept breaking.
Breaking. Oh, no.
It was a money pit. Yep.
Oops.
And then
It
what
was
did you buy?
so sexy, but like, Kyla didn't have deep enough pockets for it.
Kind of had to come
Keep
to the
repairing
realization.
it. Yeah.
I
And
was
then
like, I
what'd you
did
buy?
not want to get rid of it because it was so pretty.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I bought my like Dodge. It's an '08 Dodge. We bought it from a friend of ours. He bought it off the lot and like, I know it's an 08, but like I didn't know if he bought it later. But like,
Wow.
and I'm the second owner.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
all that I've had, like, don't get me wrong, this is a big thing to replace. The like transmission, that's all I've had to do to it.
Yeah.
Versus the Ford, I would have had to do driveline, like gearbox,
Oh.
transmission, everything in it.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Sell that sucker.
But you got a pretty sweet '08 Dodge single cab, so you can't have a bunch of friends running around because you ain't got room for them. So Dad and Mom were big supporters of that.
Little do they
I
know,
see.
the long bed has
The
a
long
lot of
bed.
space.
Just lay a tarp down. They're fine.
Yeah,
They don't even need a tarp, they'll be fine.
that's awesome.
That's awesome. So you're going to be, you already got a vehicle? You're ready to go? Turn 16? Yep.
Yes. End of the year, catch me on the roads.
I love that.
Well, Kyla, I'm proud of you, kiddo. Mom's proud of you. Taylor's proud of you. Like, you're a darn good kid. And, you're a freshman in high school. You're in, your third try right now. Getting ready for spring, summer, on spring break. But yeah, no, we like seeing the growth with what you do for your animals and your involvement in wanting to be a leader in 4-H, going to leadership conferences. You're going to go to Washington, D.C. at the end of summer for a leadership training. That's pretty cool.
Like, the leadership trainings aren't, like, just to be, like, a leader in 4-H. It's just, like, in general.
Yep.
Like, being able to... Feels like speaking up for yourself type things. Like, plus they're just fun to go to. Like, not even including the exercises or whatever that we do to, like, do the leadership. They're just fun to go to. Like,
That's awesome.
usually there's a lot of people that can actually, like, talk there, and I appreciate that, versus me having to try to pull everything out of them, and I'm like...
You're like, this sucks being the one that's, like, talkative.
I'm like, oh, no, my dad feels all the time.
Right? Oh, my God.
I love it.
Well, that'll be awesome. I haven't been to DC yet, so you have to let me know how it is. That'll be cool.
I think the building's going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. They're beautiful. That's awesome.
That's, like, all that I know about it.
Yeah. We'll have you back on. You can tell us all about it.
Yep.
She's like, no, I'm done.
Sure.
Well,
Sure.
do you have anything you want to say to any of your friends?
I can't say that on here.
Anything nice you want to say to any of your friends?
No.
No.
Nobody?
They already know how I feel about them. They'll be okay.
Say, Dalen, Matthew.
Oh, all the people that wanted to be on here.
Oh.
Because
Tate.
I was like, Tate, Matthew, Dalen, they're all going to be mad at me for like 2 weeks because I got on this before them.
They
They've been
won't
like,
be-
please let me get on the Billy Scott Talk
They
to
won't
the
be mad.
podcast.
They're going to be happy for you. Right?
They're going to be like, Kyla, get me on the Billy Scott Talk to the podcast.
Maybe they need to go make it to state in baseball and then they can come on here and talk about their
Ooh.
season or something.
Or just hang out with Billy Scott more. I don't know.
All right. How do we wrap this up, Sarah?
Well, thank you for coming on. Thanks
Yes.
for embarrassing him and harassing him, and it was just so nice just to sit here and just embrace
Back
it.
is sweaty.
It was great. Thanks for letting her come on, Ash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I tried to keep it PG. I tried to wrangle him in.
You have any advice? Anything?
Just for in general?
Yeah.
Why would you ask for advice from a 15-year-old?
Hey, you've been through some stuff.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't listen to everything that Billy Scott tells you. Like,
He might be having fun with you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, Kyla, and Billy, and
The Offspring.
I love that people probably stayed to the very end of this because it was so entertaining. All right. Well, I don't even know what's next, but we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.